Over the past couple of weeks, we have been getting a lot of information from ShiftUp on Stellar Blade, specifically about the PC port. That launches in June, and there are so many people who are excited for that. But now we have official confirmation that they are making a sequel. It's slated sometime before 2027, and they are financially very well off, partially because of this game. Obviously, Goddess of War Nikke was their major title last year, but Stellar Blade still did fantastic for them. It made them a lot of money, and so much so that they're willing to create more content for their fans. So it says Korean developer ShiftUp released Stellar Blade last year, and it quickly became a hit. In roughly 1 year, it has brought in more than $48 million of revenue for the developer, so it won't be a surprise that the team is working on a follow-up game. However, according to a Q1 2025 fiscal year presentation from ShiftUp, the developer plans to have a sequel before 2027. Now, I absolutely thoroughly enjoyed Stellar Blade. I highly recommend other people play it, and I'll even be purchasing it again when it comes out on PC in just a couple of weeks. The meltdowns over mods are going to be absolutely glorious, but I always wondered if their plans were to do a DLC or a sequel, because the game left off at a point where it did not need any follow-up content, so they would have had to do something like Shadow of the Erdtree, where it's a DLC that takes place in the middle of the game. Same with a title like Expedition 33. If they wanted to do DLC, that would have been the plan, which, hey, I'm all for getting more content for my favorite games, but it didn't need a follow-up DLC for the main story to wrap up any storylines. And I'm really happy to hear that they're just going straight to a sequel, because I prefer a full-blown experience than some additional content. I think a lot of people would generally agree with that. Now, of course, I'm not going to complain if we can just get more content, but if it was one or the other, I'd prefer a sequel. In the presentation, which is where ShiftUp reveals Stellar Blade has brought in 68.1 billion KRW, or $48 million, there's a slide titled IP expansion on the way with high visibility. We can see the 2024 release of Stellar Blade on PlayStation 5, additional strategy for ShiftUp's mobile gacha game Goddess of Victory Nikke, and platform expansion for Stellar Blade. We also know that they're working on something called Project Witches, which we've known of for like years at this point. I'm really curious to see what that is going to be, especially with the theme of very beautiful, strong women that they have going in their titles. But before that, we're going to be getting the Stellar Blade sequel, which is super cool to see. I'm really glad that ShiftUp is doing so well right now, because it just proves that people are looking away from the Western gaming industry and they're looking at other markets. And right now, that just happens to be South Korean studios, Chinese studios, and still partially Japanese studios. Unfortunately, Japanese companies are willing to sacrifice their identity to chase global trends and to potentially get the global audience buying their games, which is not a good move at all whatsoever. So some Japanese companies are still really good, others not so much. They're chasing those sweet ESG dollars and global audiences, which is unfortunate, but ShiftUp is not doing that right now. They're sticking to their guns. They're sticking with what they know has made them money so far, and it's really good to see. They have called Stellar Blade an unequivocal commercial success globally, which is also really, really cool. And I think that this is going to be a series at this point. I don't think that Stellar Blade is just going to be one or two games. I think what they will probably do is have it be a trilogy and then make spin-offs, because it made them quite a bit of money. Now, who knows? That's just my assumption. It's just a guess on my part, but we know that this game did exactly what they wanted it to do, and even better. And with the PC port coming out in a couple of weeks, I mean, it is doing fantastic. On the most wishlisted upcoming Steam games chart, it is ranking at number 19. It is right now in the 7th place on the top sellers list, which there's a lot of games that have come out over the past couple of days, and there are also a lot of games that have gotten additional content, but it is there. It is still doing good, and games like Cyberpunk 2077 are doing better. That went on sale. Japanese Drift Master went on sale. Monster Truck 2 just came out. Roadcraft just came out. Apex Legends had a big update. Fantasy Life just came out. So as we get a little bit closer to release, it will go back up. It was previously number 2 since they had announced the pre-order, but it will go back up, and it's good to see. So I'll definitely be keeping my eye on this. I'll probably end up streaming Stellar Blade again. I had streamed it at release, and I had streamed New Game Plus when Boss Rush came out so that we could unlock everything and get some of the new costumes. But I'm really looking forward to this. The meltdowns because of the mods are going to be glorious, and I just can't wait for more people to get their hands on this title. But that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this, give it a like, and if you didn't, give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I'll talk to you all again in the next video really soon.